when promotions launch or expire. Once orders are placed, due to the nature of their business, they can't offer refunds when people cancel. They add that the vast majority of their 50,000 customers are happy with their services. Sharon and Linda got a refund last year. We also know from Sarah they've been in touch with her, apologised and given her £550 back.
Bet they were pleased to get their money back.
Oh, yes. Now, over the past few years, a lot of companies have sprung up who'll buy your old mobile phone. But as Rod's been finding out, not all of them offer a good deal.
Most of us have got old mobile phones lying around the house. In fact, it's thought there are 68 million unused handsets lurking in our homes.
They go in the drawer at home.
How many have you got?
A few, 3 or 4 maybe.
Oh, well, they're all in a drawer, and there's about 8 of them there.
I've got none. I'll throw them in the bin if I've got any.
Well, I've only ever had 2. So
What did you do with the first one? Where did that go?
it's in the drawer at home.
So, what can you do with them? Well, with the average value of a used handset coming in at £66, there's a ready market willing to take them off your hands, promising you handsome amounts of cash for your old phones.
But is an offer transforming this into this simply too good to be true? Back in March, Carleen Carlson from Cardiff found a company on the internet called Phone Craze, who were offering good prices for old handsets.
They offered me £81.50 on their website, so I thought that's a really good price. They told me what address to send the mobile to, so immediately that's what I did.
She posted her phone and waited for her check. Nearly a month later, she did hear from Phone Craze, but it wasn't the long-awaited £81.50.
They contacted me back saying, oh, the £81.50 we're not going to give you. We're going to give you £61 instead, just because of a few scratches. And I was outraged because I said that the phone was used.
Phone Craze said she would have to pay £12 to get her phone back if she wasn't happy with the revised price. She reluctantly accepted the lower offer, but is still waiting for payment.
I feel very frustrated that they have my phone. They haven't given me anything back. It's almost like I've been robbed by a company. The principle is, if someone says they're going to do something, they should actually do what they say, rather than let me just carry on feeling frustrated.
And I guess they've got your product.
Yeah, they have my phone. And what do I have in return?
Now, Carleen isn't the only one who's made this mistake. It's estimated more than 200,000 phones are sent off each month in return for cash. And although some companies are legitimate, quite a few of you have experienced problems with companies which aren't.
Student James Price was strapped for cash, so contacted internet company Skyphones Europe to see what they'd pay for his old iPhone 3.
I found them online. They were sort of the best offer. So I sent the phone off to them and they got back to me saying they'd offer £227 for the phone.
Very generous.
Very good, yeah. It was a little bit higher than everyone else, so it was a good price, so I'm quite happy.
James sent his phone and waited for the money, but nothing came. Instead, Skyphones Europe lowered their offer, and as in Carleen's case, said he'd have to pay £12 if he wanted his phone back.
When we sent it off, there was no scratches, no marks or anything like that on the phone, so we were a bit annoyed, but we accepted that offer again. So then they sent me an email saying they were going to transfer the money to my bank account. Just never received it.
It must be frustrating.
Very frustrating, yeah. I'm in university at the moment, so £200 is a big sum of money, so it would have helped me get food and pay bills.
How does it make you feel?
Cons, to be honest. You sort of put your trust in them when you send your phone off, especially if they're quite well known on the internet. They've got a big name, and yeah, sort of disappointed and tricked, really.
Well, we investigated and discovered that both companies, Skyphones Europe and Phone Craze, have the same London address and telephone number. We contacted them, but have had no response. James and Carleen are no closer to getting their payment.
So what can you do to make sure you don't fall into the same trap? Kiam Economy runs comparison website sellmymobile.com, and James and Carleen have asked him for advice.
How can you make sure a company's legit?
Well, Colleen, if when selling your mobile, one company is paying a lot more than other companies, I would be very wary.
Is there any chance of me getting my cash?
Well, James, unfortunately, I do think it's very unlikely. I really don't know why these companies are still trading. They shouldn't be. Their websites should be shut down.
What should I do to avoid the same thing happening again?
I would advise consumers to use a price comparison site when selling their mobile. Price comparison sites generally work very hard to ensure that the companies they deal with are reputable companies. They also tend to, a lot of them tend to give star ratings to companies to show which have the best customer feedback.
So, if you want to turn your phone into cash, use a reputable company and check out the tips on our website to make sure that your handset doesn't vanish into thin air. Now let's get back to the uniform sale here in Merthyr. Now this scheme, which recycles school uniforms, is growing in popularity. We've got a load of the parents here as well. Obviously, this is working for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a cracking scheme. I just got the one daughter, Libby. We get items between 25 and 50p, and it's a great saving, really.
And what about the condition they're in?
They're fantastic condition. They're brand new. They take them away. I'm not sure what they do. They do something wonderful with them, and they come back as if they knew. I've been doing this since last year, and you can save up to £40–50 a year.
So how is this scheme working for you?
Well, I got 3 children, and I can buy a set of uniform for each one for less than £5, whereas it normally costs me about £60. So I'm saving £55.
So some great savings there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Next, Chinese lanterns are becoming popular in weddings and parties. But Lucy's been to Wrexham to find out why some people want them banned.
They can certainly be beautiful, and to some they're of spiritual significance. Creating awe-inspiring displays in the night sky, they've even influenced advertising campaigns. Paper lanterns like these are pretty cheap. They can cost less than £1 each, and they create a spectacular display. So it's no surprise people are choosing them to mark occasions across Wales. They're easy to get hold of on the internet and even in some card and party shops on the high street. So how do they work? Well, they are very simple to use. You simply light this fuel cell at the bottom, wait for it to warm the air inside the lantern, which inflates it and lifts it, just like a hot air balloon. But they have the potential to cause serious injuries. At a bonfire party last year, 3-year-old Kyle Jones from Wrexham was injured by hot oil from a lantern. His mother, Emma Folks, wants more advice for users.
I would like the safety regulations to be higher on them and better instructions of use, just to make sure that everyone are safe using them and realise how dangerous they can be.
And Emma's not the only one who's worried. Anne Wrench farms cattle in Saltney Ferry in Flintshire, and last year she's found at least 50 burnt-out lanterns on her land. She showed us where some of them were found. And as their popularity grows, she's concerned about the effect on her land and livestock.
It started about 12 months ago when, looking out of the kitchen window, we saw these white bags that appeared on the field in front of the house. And there were 6 when my husband went out on that one field, on that one day, and they were Chinese lanterns. We'd never even heard of them before that. And since then, regularly finding them at all parts of the field, in the hedgerows.
So why are they such a problem for you?
Start off, we're walking through a barley field now. So there's the fire risk. These fields, we've got acres of cereals, wheat and barley, and if the lanterns burn out into the field, we could just lose the whole lot in a night. And that's an enormous loss to us.
And it's not just the risk of fire that worries Anne. Stray pieces of bamboo and wire left in the fields could end up causing a big problem come harvest time.
The remains of the lanterns will get chopped up by the machine, go into the silos for the winter feed. Come the winter, we don't realise it's there, And when we're feeding the livestock, they can eat it, and it could cut up the insides like glass does and can kill the animals.
Anne's fears are justified. John Lucher has experienced their dangers firsthand. A cow on his dairy farm near Port Talbot died last year after it ate a lantern that had fallen into his field.
Noticed her standing by herself, not moving. Got the vet to come and have a look at her, and the vet said, well, quite likely to be wire in the gut. So we hoped the cow would stay alive long enough to calve, because the calf was still alive in the cow. But unfortunately, about 3 weeks before calving, she died. And so we lost the cow and the calf.
It was an expensive loss. The cow and the calf she was carrying were worth £2,000.
Oh, devastating to lose a cow. To say there are accidents and things happen, but these things like this could be prevented.
Some manufacturers now claim that their lanterns are biodegradable. And we can see on the instructions for this lantern, it says they're made from biodegradable materials, means that they decompose in a short space of time. What do you think about that?
Let's have a look at it. The wire is still there, just as it was before. The bamboo appears to have been changed. This, to me, would take years and years to decompose, and it only takes a few days to kill an animal.
The emergency services are worried too. The recent dry spell led to an increase in shrub and gorse fires across Wales, with fire crews called out to huge blazes. North Wales Fire and Rescue Service say they've had 11 incidents connected to Chinese lanterns since 2008.
That's the kind of message that we're trying to pass out.
Andy Robb wants people to be aware of the risks.
These lanterns, once they're released, they're uncontrolled. You set them off, you've no idea where they're going to go, and you've got a flame source there that may travel some miles, which can cause extensive fires, which do tie up a lot of resources of the fire service. There is other emergency services that are concerned about the release of these Chinese lanterns, particularly over the coast, where they can be confused with distress flares.
The Coast Guard Service has reported a number of false call-outs costing thousands of pounds. 8 months since his accident, Kyle has recovered from his injuries. But now farmers' unions in Wales are calling for a ban on the sale of these lanterns.
I think they should be totally banned from this country. Germany and Austria have banned them. Thailand, Vietnam. I really think we should have them banned here.
Ideally, we would say don't use them. If you are releasing them, take great care with them, please.
And that's all we've got time for this evening. Remember, if there's anything you'd like us to investigate, please do get in touch.
Yes, you can give us a call. The lines are open now. 03703 334 334.
Or, of course, you can go to our website and just click on the Get in Touch button.
We'll be back next week at the same time when we'll be in Llanidloes.
We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.